All right, thank you, everyone. We're going to get started here. My name's Jordan Small. Thank you for joining us. Today we have Tori Huster, Andi Sullivan, Kelley O'Hara, and Head Coach Richie Burke. So please start with saying your name and what publication you're with. And we'll use the raise your hand function to go ahead. Looks like we have Jason.
Hi, everyone. Jason Anderson, Black and Red United. It's good to talk to everyone, get the chance to talk over a bunch of stuff. I guess I'll start with a question for Kelley. The Spirit have made a big point about talking about winning trophies, not just down the road, but in the near term. Now that this trade's finally done, what are your thoughts on the Spirit as a club right now, and how close do you think the team is to fulfilling those kind of goals?
I obviously haven't had an opportunity to play with the Spirit yet, but I've obviously watched and played against them. And I just remember this summer in the Challenge Cup watching the team play and being almost envious and excited for them because of the way they were playing, the energy on the field, just the style of soccer. So I think that Richie has done a very good job, and the ownership here is putting the pieces together to get this club to where it needs to be to win an NWSL championship.
I don't want to stay on for too long and not let anyone else ask any questions, but I will throw one more for Richie. This trade it's been reportedly on and off and on and off for such a long time. What do you expect now that the deal's finally across the line? What are your expectations for this as far as taking the team maybe to a level that wasn't quite there in this past season?
Oh yeah, the trade did drag on, and it was our mission to get it done before the Yuletide period started at this stage. So we're glad we got it in before that window. Look, you know, she's an incredible player. She's going to be a force for us both on the field and off the field. She brings the mentality of a serial winner to our football club. And I think our team is driven to next year, as we've done in the 2 years we've been at this football club, to make an incremental progress, an incremental step forward. And Kelley brings that to us, certainly. But we're driven to win at this football club, and we want to make that a mission for next season in particular.
All right, Stephen Goff, you're up next.
Game latte, please.
Hey everyone, it's Steve Goff with the Washington Post. Thanks a lot for your time. Kelley, what obviously, you know, Richie just discussed how this was talked about for several months. You had a desire to be in DC, obviously. What was going through your mind over the last few months as the discussions unfolded and the possibility of coming to the Spirit?
There were a lot of emotions over the last couple months in, like Richie alluded to it, you know, this trade, this deal took a while to get over the line, but I'm just really thankful it did. It's the best Yuletide present I think I've ever received. So I'm just thankful that it finally got to a place where, you know, I can now call DC my home off the field, but now on the field as well.
And a follow-up question for Tori, what your observations are of Kelley and what she'll bring to this lineup next season.
I think it's obvious. We talk about trophies, and she's won quite a few. That's what we want to bring, the type of player we want to bring to the club, the quality that she will add to our roster. And then on top of that, and probably will help me a lot, is going to be her experience and just helping the younger ones. We have a ton of them on the team, and I am very hopeful that they will take all of the opportunities to ask her questions and learn from her. Yeah, really excited.
Great. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Get it in. She couldn't get that one in.
All right, Elise, you're next.
Hey guys, it's Alif Kareem from WDBM. This is a question that goes out to everyone. With the draft coming up pretty soon, but with the addition of Kelley to the team, Coach, specifically with you, I wanted to start. What are you searching in terms of, what you want this team to look like, since you have the 2nd and the 9th pick as well?
The draft is a process to supplement our roster. If we had to play right now with the team we've currently got under contract, I'd be quite happy with that as well. We've got a lot of depth, a lot of quality. There's a couple of ways of looking at it. You can go and bring a young 21, 22-year-old kid into your football club and try and teach them to be a pro, or you can bring in an established world-class superstar that is a pro and can help young players become better pros. For us, we decided with this acquisition to go down that road first, which has made us, I think, certainly better right away. And now we'll try and add to that. We'll supplement it with certain types of players. Kelley's addition gives us a lot of flexibility because she's so versatile. She can play as a wing back, a full back, and a lot of other positions as well. So right away, that changes some of the needs that we might have in the draft when you bring in a player of that quality. So we're constantly assessing what we need. We're constantly assessing where we need to go as a football club. Having a 2 and a 9 pick doesn't mean to say that we'll bring somebody in who's going to make a significant impact. We hope that we can get that. But right now, as I say, if we have to play tomorrow with the players that we've got under contract, I'll be very, very happy.
All right, Dan Loretta, you're next.
Hi, guys. Thanks for doing this today. I have one for Kelley, one for Tori. Kelley, clearly part of the reason for seeking the trade was to go to Washington, D.C., but I'm wondering how much, if any of that, was a desire to no longer be in Utah.
No, I don't think that it was I don't want to be in Utah anymore. Utah, they treated me really, really well. They gave me a top class professional experience, and I'm really thankful for the time that I spent there and for the club and how they treated me and, what they brought to Utah. For me, this was a personal decision for off the field, but also on the field. I say it wasn't about Utah, but I was very excited about joining this particular Spirit team and playing for Richie. So I wish Utah nothing but the best. I'm so thankful for what they gave me and the experience they gave me these last 3 years, but I'm very excited to be part of this specific team now in this club and this city, and working towards bringing a lot of fun times and wins to the district.
Anything specific about Richie that you've heard or observed? He's someone that I think most known about.
He's just a big teddy bear, right? Like super calm and just, he's super even keeled. So I think that's going to be, as somebody who really needs somebody like that. I think that he will. No, I'm just kidding. Richie's great. I'm looking forward to playing for him, winning for him, and just being coached by him.
And then one for Tori. Tori, you've got the forever role being the last original Washington Spirit. I'm just curious, looking back through the years, how, is this about as well as the team has been in terms of not necessarily the team on the field, but how the organization has operated?
Yeah, definitely. I think Kelley mentioned it before. It's a good Yuletide beginning present, early present. I think, being here for so long, some of the years kind of mesh together. But I think I'm just very excited about what our roster is looking like. We have had young players for the last couple of years, but now we're going to ask them to step up and be instrumental to what our play looks like. And I think we are building in the right direction. And yeah, I think we're looking good.
Thank you both.
All right, Keelan, you're next.
Hey everyone, I'm Kellen Sung from Washington City Paper. Got a question for Kelly and Andy. Kelly, I know that you've been in the area in DC like the past couple off seasons. What is your connection to the city? Like, what do you like about DC, and is it like a second home to you?
It's now my first home. I moved here last year to be with my partner, so this is home for me, and this is my city. So, and I obviously grew up in Georgia. I've lived in Atlanta. I've lived all over the country, and I was maybe not skeptical of DC, but wasn't sure what to expect. And since moving here, I've loved every second of it. I love the city. I love the energy it brings. I love what it has to offer. And I think if I didn't like it as much, I probably wouldn't have maybe made this move, but I truly want, and this is home for me now. So I want this to be not only my home off the field in the off season, but now it's home year round, and I get to play for this club that is part of the city, and I couldn't be more happy about that.
And Andy, I know you've been obviously one of the captains of the team. What do you think with the addition of Kelly, what do you think kind of the leadership balance or your particular role, what do you think that will be kind of moving forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that Tori mentioned this as well, that we're excited as a team to learn from Kelly. And for me, I just feel like a kid around the Yuletide season, just like so excited to get on the field. And I've seen Kelly, train every single day, and her mentality is so huge. And I can't wait for that to spread throughout our club. And Tori mentioned it as well. She is a winner, and I think her perspective is going to be huge as a leader. And I think we have a good relationship, so I'm excited to cooperate with her. And
I like you.
good news, because we're already spending a lot of time together. So yeah, so I'm thrilled. So I think it's going to be a great addition on the field as a player and also as a leader within our team.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, Emily, you're next.
Thanks for taking the time. It's Emily Olsen from Sirius XMFC. Richie, my first question is to you. In a year in which it seemed like every time we were talking to you, you were losing a player that you really wanted to keep on your team. In this trade, what does it feel like to finally, get a player you absolutely want and need on your team without having to lose any other personnel necessarily?
Oh, it's great. It's like Christmas all over again. It's been great because we've been trying to get Kelly over the line for quite some time. I think somebody alluded to it a little bit early on about, how difficult this process has been. So it was up, it was down, it was all over the place. So now to get a player of that caliber done without losing anything of magnitude for us, really, other than money, of course, owners might not like that one, but we did pay quite a bit of money to get a player of this caliber here. But I'm thrilled to have her and add to what we've got already. Gaining things as opposed to losing things is a much better feeling for sure, Emily. That's definitely a big plus. But when you gain the type of player that we've gained and the leadership that we've gained with her, and just how she trains when she steps foot on the field, and our young players are watching her attitude and how professional she is in preparation and training, I think that's going to be huge for our football club. So yeah, I'm very, very happy.
Thank you. And then a quick follow-up for Andy, just kind of an update on your recovery process. And is there such thing as too many Stanford Cardinals on one team?
Never. I'll go with your second question first. Never too many go card.
Too many.
I'm feeling really good. Surgery went really well, and I had a great team around me to help manage my return to play. And so I was able to, play after the fall series just while we were around. And it was kind of a bummer timing wise, just because then everyone goes home and now it's, back to off season and by yourself when you really want to play and get the rust out. But I'm feeling great, and excited for 2021 and more opportunities to play.
Cool. Jonathan Tannenwald, you'll go next.
Thanks. Hi all. Richie, a couple questions for you. First of all, I heard Andi talking a minute or two ago about, her role as a leader on this team, and obviously Tori's role as a leader on this team. And I wonder, when you now look at what you have with the leadership qualities in all three of the players sitting around you and the rest of your roster, how important that becomes as this team grows and matures. And then secondly, what do you think is left on your shopping list for the offseason?
Oh, what a good question. My Yuletide shopping list. First of all, I'm okay with being less and less important on this team. The more we get leadership and the more we get people who can handle the dressing room and handle the growth of our young players, it just makes my job easier. I think I've referenced it many times before, how important Tori Huster is to me at this football club, and it was very important to get her contract done and get her over the line and have her solidified for 2 more years at this football club, because I don't really want to be picking teams without her in it. Her value goes beyond what she does on the field. And now we have an additional supporter in Kelley O'Hara to just help her job. I think Tori said it a little bit earlier. It'll be so much easier for her. And now it frees up someone like Andi Sullivan to just go and be Andi Sullivan, who we all admire and we all love, and we all want to continue to be the player that we all know she is, and she can be at this football club. So it makes my job so much easier. I'm feeling more and more diminished in this role, so but I'm okay with that. as long as it makes us, win and bring a championship to this football club. That's what our mission is, and that's why Kelley O'Hara's here. But I'm happy with this leadership group. Very, very happy. Couldn't be happier. Aubrey Bledsoe is another piece of that is key for us. So other pieces. Wow. My Yuletide shopping list is quite long. But right now, I said earlier that I'd be happy with the players we've got under contract going and playing. But I think we might need to add another attacking piece, maybe an attacking midfield piece. And I would like to get a little bit more support in the central defensive area too, which is what we're looking at, especially if we are contemplating another system next season, looking at maybe be a little bit more progressive in how we play and moving into a more attacking type of system to help us in that top third of the field, which has been a little bit of an issue for us. Our football is great and flows well from the back through midfield, but the piece for us that's missing is that attacking piece, which is what we're looking at addressing in this off season and the preseason, getting ready to play.
Thanks so much.
All right, we'll come back to Jason.
Kelly, I know coming from Utah, you had access to the facilities out there, the stadium, the training ground, all that stuff. How important to you is it that the Spirit are moving in that direction as well, with more games at Audi Field and the training facility that's being built out in Virginia?
I think it's super important. I think that I'm hoping that that's how every club is moving in NWSL, and the fact that Spirit is beginning to make that transition was another reason why I felt like it was time for me to make this move and become part of this club. And like you said, Utah's facilities, fantastic, treat us super well. But in my first, I guess, official 3 days with this club and what they have provided me, it's been phenomenal. And I'm looking forward to more of it. It's been a really good transition. And I'm hoping we play all of our games at Audi. I think that would be fantastic. I want to have everybody from DC be able to get out to our games and support us. Global pandemic, figured out and do it safely. But yeah, Audi Field, I've been to a game there, and it's a excellent environment. So to be able to play there will be really, really special.
Cool. Come back to Stephen Goff.
Hey, Kelly, where at this point in your career, where do you think you are as a player? How have you changed or had to evolve in recent years, coming off injuries and all? Where do you think you stand as a player?
I think I stand in a pretty good place.
In the world 11, Steve, in the world 11, man.
You know, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm looking forward to 2021 and hopefully a more normal year and games consistency. But yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm pretty happy, and I always that said, I am constantly looking for more. So I feel like that's kind of just how I've kept myself going. I'm always looking to get better and to be going for that next level, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Great, thanks.
All right, final chance for questions. All right, we'll get Stacy in here.
Hi, everybody. This is for anybody that would be willing to answer. What was the biggest adjustment for you all when you were in Utah to being able to play, like, you know, hopefully back at Audi Field? What do you think the biggest adjustments will be for you all?
Let us be honest with ourselves. You know, it was a big adjustment to come back from being inside a bubble. But you know, we're just looking forward to next season. You know, and right now we're trying to move as close we can towards normalcy. We're hoping that we get spectators in, as Kelly's referenced, that really elevates the players. It lifts the atmosphere incredibly for players who are on the field to have their spectators behind them. So, you know, we hope we don't have to go through that again as players and as staff. But if we do, look, you know, we're going to continue to work as hard as we can and make sure we represent this football club and this badge in the best way possible. But it would be so much easier if we can get back to crowds in the stadiums and our spectators who we connect with really, really well and give us that little lift. I think that would be fantastic. Sorry. That was good.
All right, last chance. Jose, go ahead.
Yeah, Richie, just one question. Kelly has had several responsibilities with the U.S. women's national team. What is your expectations on her participation with the national team this year? And who do you see stepping up when she's not available?
Well, she's going to go to the Olympics, obviously. She's probably going to play in She Believes. She's a major factor. If anybody watched her play in Holland recently, when she was one of their best players for 70 minutes before she came off the field, you would anticipate that Placco's going to be using her as often as he can. I know I would. So she's going to play as often as she can for us. And when she's not here, then, you know, in the roles that we anticipate her playing, we've got a little bit of depth and a little bit of quality. And, you know, we'll find a way to plug that hole. But certainly when you have a national team player on your team, and we've had national team players here, when they go, we find a way to plug those holes and still try to play our way and still try to play with the quality that we've got. But this game's, you know, it belongs to the players. It's about the players. And you know, we hope that we give another player an opportunity to play in Kelly's spot when she's not here, and they step up to the plate and do their job. That's what they get paid to do. So, you know, while I've got some preconceived ideas of where we're going to play and how we're going to play, as I have with every player in this football club, we'll also have contingency plans for when she's not here and when she's not around. And, you know, as a supporter of these players in the national team program, I would like, you know, everybody to go and play for the national team. It's their dream. It's the you know, something they've desired from a young age. If you can get a national team appearance and a cap under your belt, and I'd be supportive of every single one of our players going and getting that as often as they can. That's the dream. So our job is, when they're not around, to try and fill that void the best way we possibly can. But I think we've got a pretty good squad, and I think that you know, there will be a drop off possibly when you lose a national team player. But I think that player steps into and fills those shoes as an opportunity, and we hope to be able to give that to them.
Thank you.